As you get comfortable with this, as you learn those movements, what we really want to work on here, although we're working on the technique, we want the technique to be just right, but a lifeless, soulless, spiritless, perfect technique, it's a waste of time. I don't even want to see it. I don't like the just so wannabe perfectionists do it just like this and think that they've got it right, but have no heart and no soul in it. That's not what we want. Once we get that down, and you're going to run into people like that in the martial arts. They'll sit and argue. I've seen them sit in my school, listen to argue over whether the fist has to be this way or whether it can be that way for hours. Don't waste my time with that, all right? Who cares? I hit the guy and he fell down. It was right. Actually, and I've seen some masters, some of them in Ishinryu, you may know we do a vertical punch. I've seen some masters do strictly vertical. Some will do a little bit of a conk off to it, to the side like that. Doesn't matter. It's up to the individual, really. The important part is that you hit with the top two knuckles, right? Same thing here. I want to get the spirit into it, not just the technicalities of how to do this. Fighting is a very spiritual experience. It's not, there's some technique involved, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of technique involved, and if you don't do the technique right, you're not going to have any power when you hit. But once you got the technique down, like Musashi said, you study, you study, you study, you study, and then you forget about it. Throw it away. Don't worry about it anymore. Now I'm going to put my spirit out there. When it comes time to fight, it's you or me, and I just got to be ready to drive through there and hit and do whatever I got to do to get it done. And it's got to be fast and furious with power, straight to the heart of the opponent, straight to the target, straight to get the job done. My job here is to survive and to put you down, and whether I hit you this way or that way is not really the point of the contest anymore. Now it's a matter of survival. Well, the same thing with this. So, yes, I want you to get it technically proficient. Yes, at this stage when you first start, it does matter, and I will correct whether your hand's this way or this way or this way or this way as you're doing it. Later, as you learn those ABCs, it's going to look a little different from each person, and I not only accept that, I encourage it. I want to know that this is in you and it's coming back out of your own soul and your own spirit, not just a reproduction of a dance move that I taught you to do with a blade in your hand. Make sure that when you're practicing it for technicalities and for perfection and for slow, only concentrated on the technical proficiency. You don't care about speed. You don't even want any speed. You want definite stopping points and definite focus, but no power. When you're practicing it for power and for speed and put that fire into it, you still want the technical proficiencies. You just want to focus more on the speed and power of the thing. So you cannot do away with the technical proficiencies of the cut. They have to be there. In order for you to get your promotion, you're going to have to be technically proficient, and you have to show me some fire, some spirit, and some drive in there. You got to see the soul of a warrior when you got that sword in your hand. Don't, like I said, just concentrate on making a face. I want to feel it coming up with power when you do it. But congratulations, you've passed a milestone. Kion kata number 1, it's your first major kata. It's a big deal. You should celebrate and practice this. Practice this at every class you come to. Practice it 10 times at every class. Go over it, go over it, go over it, go over it. I've been doing this kata for 15 years, and I still practice it. Whenever I come in to practice sword, I do this kata. I do all of them. So make sure that you're practicing this diligently. You practice it at every class. What you're going to find happening from this point is, as you've learned this material up to here, you notice that, okay, Suburi Ippon Me, Suburi Nihon Me, Suburi Samba Me, Suburi Yonhon Me, and you're going through those. Now you can go through those in a matter of, well, even with 10 cut speech, you can go through those in a matter of 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes. You got all 10 cuts done, where before that was a whole class just getting the one done. So what you're going to start doing now is you come to class, you're going to go through all those cuts, you're going to go through all those body postures, all the stances, all the drawing, deblooding, resheathing, and then you're going to add this kata on in. Next lesson, you're going to add another kata. Next lesson, you're going to add another kata. So before long, when you come to class, you're going to start with the first part of the material, work your way all the way through the material, all the way up to the black belt level material, and that's going to be your class. So practice this, practice it diligently. Right now, practice it 10 times a class if you can. Every time you practice it, try to practice it 5, 10 times, 100 times. You can't do it too much. Do it with the sword, do it with the suburito, do it over and over and over. If you have this one and you're moved on up to, say, kata number 7, kata number 8, then you probably only do this one time in a class, just one time. You've probably already have, 5,000 repetitions under your belt. At that point, Kion kata number 1 is just going to be a matter of like walking across the floor. You're going to have it so well that it's not going to require any real practice. Just keep your skills up. And then you'll be doing kata number 8 10 times in every class. So that's the way it's going to work. Technical proficiency, spirit and power, repetition, 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 repetition.